Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Tower of God Chapter 455, or Season 3, Episode 38? Yeah, 38, glancing over at my notes. So I'm recording this, like, literally directly after I just recorded that last review, doing them straight back to back, and both of these, like, right after I read 456. So I have an entire page of notes here, like a full-on, complete page of notes on this chapter, where usually my notes are like a half page, so this might be kind of a long video, but there is just a ton to talk about because this was such a good chapter, such a good way to start off a new arc, and I felt last week when reading it, my friends that, like, I'm trying to get to read Tower of God that don't, I'm like, oh, look at this chapter, look at this chapter. Or even like people that I do talk about Tower of God with, I'm like, oh, this was so good. I'm really excited about this. And after this chapter, I feel excited about this arc in a way that I haven't felt about a new Tower of God arc in a while. It's just like the arc characters I really like so far. The setting, I really like the setting for this arc. I don't know, something about it feels right. I'm excited for it, especially the story's been good for a bit of a while now lately, and that just has my spirits up on Tower of God, you know. But in addition to that, not only did we get to start a new chapter getting introduced to these new concepts and characters, this new location that's really cool, but we got into the story of it. We weren't just introduced to it and then said, we'll leave the story for next chapter. We got a lot of story this chapter too. A lot of plot points were hit. So yeah, it's just really, really good. So to start from the beginning, to start working through this, so we start off the chapter with Haku searching for the final thorn fragment that's going to be at the place where, or at least presumably the place where his picture is of. So Haku's been searching for that. Yule gets word from their captain about Bomb being in a dangerous place, starts up the ship and starts taking them there. So this is really cool. I'm excited for that group to get involved in this arc as well, just because honestly I didn't want that group to ever split off from Bomb to begin with. I kind of wanted Elaine and Haku to stick with him anyway, but I like that Elaine and Haku will be showing up eventually here too. I really, really like that because they're two of my favorite characters. Which reminds me, I need to do a favorite character video at some point because I really want to talk about Haku and Elaine. But yeah, we go from there to Bomb's group. Ship is staying with the ship, or Shibisu if you have only ever known him by that name. But yeah, Ship is staying there, which makes total sense actually, not just because of the name as a joke, but when you think about it, at first I was kind of like, why did they have to leave him behind like he's a scrub or something? But then it kind of got me thinking, that's actually very smart. You really do need to leave someone behind with the ship because, like he says to them, if they need to get out of there really quick, if they need him to pull up real quick, they need somebody to stay with the ship to be able to do that. So actually, for the sake of an easy escape, that makes sense. Kunagro Agnes mentions that the wall is a long walk from where they are, but they have to walk because they can't chance flying, given that Zahard's army could be watching. And if Zahard's army is watching the area, then it'd be way too dangerous for them to try to fly there. Also, he mentions, and I love this part of it, that they're not there to fight. The plan is to warn the wall guards about Calavan, help the wall guards team up with them, and try to get some information on Jinsung. So basically, they're just trying to make it so that Calavan doesn't free this warrior and screw everything up at this wall. They're not trying to fight him or anything. They're just trying to warn the guards and get information if possible. So I like that, because that was something I was worried about. I was like, what does Bomb's group plan to do with Calavan? Do they really think they can take him whatsoever? And we learn here the idea that no, they don't think they can take him whatsoever, which is why they're trying to team up with people that can help them out, just to throw his plans off and get some information. So I like this. It's not some essence of Meathead. It's not just some Meathead fighty thing where they're just going in to try to attack this guy. No, there's some storyline motivation there that's really good. So from there on, we learned that Helhelm told Bomb about the hero who sealed herself in the wall, and it's not the worst case for them if the hero gets released, because the hero sealed themselves in the wall. They seem to be a pretty good person. So yeah, if they're released, they'll probably even team up and help Bomb's group take on Caliban. So their goal is to keep them sealed, but if they do get unleashed, not the not the worst case scenario. However, the other part of the wall that Evankill's group is at has someone pretty dangerous there. They really apparently don't want them getting released, even though they're supposedly their own ally, as far as FUG goes. So I think that's really interesting that whoever is at the other wall is so dangerous that they're like, yeah, we really want to keep them sealed. But with this one, it's like, we want to keep them sealed, but if we don't, it's fine. Yeah, Kun says that, yeah, he even says, or thinks to himself at least, that he wants to leave her sealed, or at least team up with her if she does get released. So then Myan spits up Sowo a bit later on, and I like that Sowo was getting involved in this arc. That wasn't something that I expected at all. From there, the arc name is dropped on us, and it's Wall with the Sleeping Forget-Me-Not. I like it. And then we jump over to Caliban, and we see a bit of a flashback as Caliban's walking through the city, that Caliban contacted their vice commander before reaching the wall. Now confirmed because of 456 that Chonhee is still a division commander, so it isn't Chonhee. So the vice commander of the squadron now is possibly maybe Alpathian? Who knows? I would assume, because of what Caliban says in 456, that Alpathian is probably still the vice commander. So Caliban reaches out, contacts the vice commander before getting to the wall, and gets a bit more information on the warrior who is trapped there. So again, makes me wonder who the new commander could be, you know. But the warrior who sealed herself in the wall, or was sealed, was somebody who fought at Genesis, of course, who voluntarily sealed themselves in order to bring about peace. And when she did, she also erased all of the memories of her from people who knew her, except for her sister, except for that one person. So, because she was powerful enough and mysterious enough to be able to do this, and because she's a powerful ancient warrior sealed in this wall, she would actually be a difficult opponent even for Caliban if she is released. So they're talking like, you have your arm tied behind your back, can you really take her even if you do release her? But he mentions that because of the oath, he won't untie his left arm even if he dies. So it makes me wonder what the conditions on the oath are. What is the thing he has to do in order to redeem himself so that he can release his left arm? Is it some grand thing like bring honor to Zahard's empire and give them complete victory, like an end game kind of thing? Or is it as simple as make up, atone for his mistakes at the last station, which might not be as difficult? So that's interesting, but it is mentioned that some people in each of the walls have tokens that can free the heroes that are sealed in the walls. And one of the people who has a token that can free the hero sealed in the wall is the hero's sister, Kane. So of course, that's where Caliban's going for. He's trying to convince Kane to free or release her sister, even though he plans on then killing or subduing the sister. Probably killing, because of course, Essence of Meathead. Or as everybody calls it, Essence of Murder. Yeah, also more information from the guards on the guards now. The guards sort of feel safe there. They're pretty complacent. They feel like Zahard doesn't have a reason to attack, because why would Zahard attack the wall and free the hero trapped in the wall if the hero is a powerful enemy of Zahard? So they're kind of just chilling. They're not too serious. A lot of the strong people have already left. And they mention too that the other walls might have sort of more serious, more powerful guards with a strong sense of duty to protect the wall and the hero sealed in it, because they know the person sealed in it. They're old enough to know them. But because of the fact that the hero sealed in this wall has erased the memories of everyone, people here don't personally know her except for her sister, so security is kind of lax. They don't really have that personal connection, that personal reason to try to protect her, which again is just this really cool aspect of the setting where we have these walls. They're cool. They're holding these sealed warriors. There are people who have these reasons to guard the place and protect it, and then this one specific one that we're seeing this arc take place in has this nuance to it where, yeah, they don't care as much because they don't really personally know her or anything. And like they said, a lot of the strong people that guard the place have already left. So, really interesting and cool. But Calivan then just vanishes, goes on his own to do some essence of murdering. But Kane is stopped at the tower. She visits her sister every day, but now she isn't allowed to see her sister until the intruder, Calivan, is caught. We get introduced to Tonki, who is the guardian of the tower she is sealed in. Calivan then murders a bunch of people, and uses the data room on the east side of the wall, I think it was said, to get information on Kane. So, yeah, we get some information from Kane's point of view a bit, that the sister really didn't mind being sealed, because she figured that if she was awake, she would have to be fighting in this war, so as long as it can bring about peace, she's cool being sealed if she has to fight in this war anyway. But Calivan tells Kane just busts up in her house like he owns the place. Calivan's hilarious. I said in some of my other videos, I unironically love Calivan at this point, just because he's just so funny and entertaining at this point. But yeah, he busts in the place, tells Kane that he wants to wake her sister. She refuses, because this is what her sister wanted, of course, and he's not the one that she's waiting for, because we get more of a flashback. Their master told them stories of a great man and a woman, or of a great man and of a woman who escaped the tower, and said that their child might return, and that's when Kane should wake her up. So again, this is really, really cool to me, knowing that they got to hear the story of V and Arlen. They talk about FUG, so FUG was definitely around back then, and that just has me thinking their master, there's a pretty solid chance their master could potentially be Luzlek, since Luzlek would talk about Arlen and V in those terms. It would make sense that he would talk about them like that. So it's really cool seeing how Bomb plays into the story and the lore going on here, and how FUG plays into things, and how their master is mysterious, and it could be Luzlek. So from there, Bomb makes it to the walls. They first tell him, no, you can't come in here, we're dealing with something right now, a bunch of people have been murdered. But Bomb uses his place as a Slayer candidate to convince the guards to let him in. However, the commander of the guards, Delete, then just says, yeah, we're arresting all of you, because they want nothing to do with Zahard or FUG, where they're like, yeah, a lot of the people at the other walls might be loyal to FUG. Again, they don't, even though their ancestors were people saved by FUG, their ancestors were part of the anti-Zahard alliance. Even though that is the case, these people have no personal reason to want to care about FUG. They don't want to pick a side, because getting involved with this is just dangerous for them. So again, Delete seems like a bit of a jobber, though. I could see Delete just getting wrecked by somebody at some point in this arc. I don't know what it is. When I first saw Tonki, I was like, Tonki's cool. I hope we learn more about him. But when I first saw Delete, I was like, nah, this guy's talking too much shit. He's going to get destroyed. From there, we have people rioting at the monument to the hero. But seeing a bit and learning a bit more about this monument, I like how the hero is like, after this war and everything, it's cool that I could be remembered as a flower. I really like that aspect of it, and that the significance of the what the monument is actually has some importance and story behind it. I think that's really cool. But then we have fucking Meathead Calivan just destroying this guy. So great. Calivan is so entertaining. Oh my gosh. But yeah, blog post. Only thing to talk about there, Siu brings up a really good point in that, okay, yeah, Calivan stood up for her sister and everything, but Calavan caused this riot anyway, because the riot was about 10 people being murdered or whatever, and Calavan's the one who did that. So yeah, this is kind of Calavan's fault to begin with. But yeah, I love not only this chapter as an intro, it was really, really great. I've talked about it a ton. I love not only how it introduced this new arc, these new concepts and everything, but also that we just got a lot of story. The story had a lot of detail too. We got tons of content, which is kind of the norm for Tower of God. But still, we got tons of content. It was just really, really good in general. But I would end up giving this one close to perfect. I kind of try to reserve perfect scores. I wanted to give this a perfect score at first, but I kind of try to reserve perfect scores for things that have this really emotional bearing on me. This one was really, really good as a first chapter of an arc, but it didn't really have some special emotional bearing. So I'd give it 9.5 Forget-Me-Nots out of 10. I thought it was really great. I really, really, really enjoyed it. But either way, yeah, that is it. Thank you again for watching. Like, if you did like the video, comment in there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, what you thought of my thoughts on it and all that. Sorry if this video messed up a little bit there. I tried to fix it or handle it as best I could. Yeah, either way, like, comment, subscribe for more Tower of God and much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you up to date on stuff for the channel or talk to you there. If you'd like a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us on Discord, just ask and I can give you a link. If you want to help support the channel to keep it going on the week-to-week, you wouldn't pledge on the week-to-week, you'd pledge on the month-to-month, but on Patreon, if you want to help support the channel so I can keep doing what I do, then it's patreon.com/Haku with the tubes, or a link will be in the description. But yeah, that is it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.